emotional needs that need to be met by us as parents for our children so that they don't develop complex trauma. When I'm talking about complex trauma, what I'm talking about is trauma that is different from the really obvious trauma of like physical abuse. I'm talking about the complex trauma that we often live with our whole lives without realizing that we even have it. It often then opens up and becomes really apparent to us when we are parents ourselves. Because even though we have the best of intentions to do things better or parent in a better way than our parents did, we will struggle to do that because of the trauma we carry. When I'm talking about trauma, I'm talking about things that alter the way we act, alter our behaviors in a negative way based on experiences that we have had. So for instance, if we are yelled at as a child, we will often find ourselves yelling as a parent ourselves because our brain is wired to respond to certain behaviors with yelling, because that is what we have been conditioned to do, and that is what we have been conditioned to believe is the way that we should handle certain situations. The need for control is heavily rooted in trauma. And this is something that we're going to help you through today, understanding what your children's 8 emotional needs are, how you can meet them, and what you can do to make sure that you don't pass down that trauma any further. In order to be good parents for our children, we really need to take this into consideration, because good parents are conscious parents, and conscious parents consciously think about everything that they do with their children in order to get the best outcomes for their children in a holistic way. It starts with us as the parents. We are the ones that need to meet our children's needs. When they are really young, it entirely falls on us as the parents. As they get older, they start moving their needs onto people like their friends and perhaps their romantic relationship. But our job as parents is to help them have the ability to also meet their own needs as they move into adolescence and adulthood. This is the skills of self-compassion, being able to feed themselves emotionally, spiritually, socially, and emotionally, so that they can have the skills that they need to get through life and fill their own cup. Because when they become adults, it's essential that they are able to do that. Kids, more than anything, need to feel a sense of safety. And this is the most basic need for any living human being. And they need to feel a sense of safety wholeheartedly with us as the parent. And there are 8 emotional needs that need to be met in order for them to feel that sense of safety from every aspect of their life. Each of these 8 emotional needs starts with an A to make it easier for you to remember them, okay? But remember, come back, save this video, come back to it, and view it whenever you feel like you need a reminder around what your children need. The very first one is attachment, and this must be happening in a healthy way. This is essential in the first 2 years of our children's lives. This is where they develop a healthy attachment to their parents. And to develop a healthy attachment, our children need to know that we are going to be there for them when they need us. I'm talking when your children cry, that you don't take a really long time to respond to them, that you are there and you are helping them through that moment. They know that you are always going to be there to support them through the hard times. This also means that we don't use strategies like time out, which is a really common parenting strategy where our children's behavior gets, too much for us, or their emotions seem like they're overflowing and flooding. And sometimes we think to ourselves, they need a timeout in order to calm down. But actually, young children in particular, need co-regulation. They need to be with us, and they need to know that we are going to stay near them, and we are going to be there to support and guide them through anything that's happening, whether that be difficult behaviors, whether that be challenging emotions. We are there, and we have developed that secure attachment where they can trust. They can trust that we will be there for them as their parents, and that we will always be there for them as their parents. This is significantly important as they then move into adolescence and the teen world, because they're going to go through really massive changes and problems in their life, and they need to have had a secure attachment to us to let us in and to let us be there for them in those challenging moments, so that they can open up to us and feel like they can be honest with us because they trust us. They trust us from building that healthy attachment from a really young age.